See the full animated short at playoverwatch.com.
Welcome back to HGC North America. There I am. We are headed into game number 4 between Team 8 and Tempo Storm. Now, being down in the last game, Tempo Storm chose to have first pick, and they're doing it again. Team 8 are taking us to Sky Temple.
Best map left, really, for Team 8. Looking at Tempo Storm's strengths, it's, again, a map where macro matters a little bit, but also does the skirmishing. So it's going to force, Tempo Storm to be able to brawl and deal with what Team 8 has brought to the table so far. Also, keep in mind, again, a lot of the heroes that Glaurung's good at, also good on this map.
We've got maybe Zeratul, maybe Tracer, Tempo bans Tass, so that limits Tracer a little bit.
Do they let the Ragnaros through and ban the Malfurion here if you're Team 8? That is the question. Or you just ban Tracer again. Just say, screw it. Banning out the Zeratul.
Yeah, if they don't want to play Zeratul, this is where Psalm would want to play him on Sky Temple, among other battlegrounds. And, like I said, Psalm's Zeratul is one to be feared.
What game? Zarya is going to be picked up here. Mal. Okay. What game was it? Somehow these short-term draft memory loss at this point, where we saw Tracer banned out by Team 8. Was that in the last game, or was that?
That wasn't the last game on Battlefield.
Okay.
So very short-term memory loss.
I was just like, I don't know. Somehow I can pull back like drafts from like months ago on certain maps, and then I have moments where I'm like, I can't even remember the last video game I managed to end up seeing. Either way, interesting choice to move into the Zarya, very high here on this map.
Yeah, I guess again, maybe as an enabler for the team. Team 8, they have Malfurion as well as Zarya, so that they can enable whatever picks they want later on, or if they're looking at yet another ability to just poke, unkillable comp.
Falstad is a must for Tempo Storm, in my opinion, on this map. I genuinely think that Tempo Storm is a team that when they get that, Falstad, when they're allowed to macro, they look like a completely different team. When they get to choose the fights, like now they will, with Gus, with the Global, teams like Team 8 do seem to struggle a significant amount compared to that. So I like the fact that they move that direction. They're going to pair it with picking up the Diablo. Karzim is now going to be banned out here. No Diablo, Apox, Sulfura Smash, Wombo, Dream.
And what will we see Tempo Storm ban versus Team 8? Maybe a Warrior? Is this where they say we're done with your variant? Nope, Vala instead.
It is not. It's going to be let through. With Zarya and Malfurion now, if you are Team 8, where do you go? You have the option to be able to pick up Tychus. Not a must pick, though. You have the option to move into some less popular picks.
Li Ming is what they paired with Zarya Malfurion in the past on Sky Temple.
Yeah.
And ETC.
Yeah, and Li Ming, in one of her better maps into the Faucet, I think it's okay. There are a lot of high health pools already in Tempo Storm's draft, and it looks like that's probably not going to be changing with their next 2 picks. So maybe not as appealing, but yeah, I don't mind it if they go with the Li Ming route. I think I really would like to see the Tychus. I just don't know the next pick. They're going to go with Medivh.
Medivh Tychus. Now this obviously is a point that we would know, but Team 8 has closed out every series once they start to get the lead in the series. The one time they had even lost a game so far was when they lost the first game versus B-Step on Cursed Hollow, but once they started to get their momentum going, there was no turning back. You think that's the case here?
I thought so. I was feeling that way before we went to commercials, and then we came back from commercials, and I still felt close to the same way. And then the draft started, and I'm beginning to question myself. Now that Falstad's in the hands of Tempo, that Medivh is going to be chosen here for Team 8, and looking at their draft, it's a very passive sustaining. The problem with passive sustaining comps is that if they can't force, which they usually struggle in, that Falstad just does his thing, and then he flies down, and then he Gus. It just seems Tempo Storm and Gale Force Esports have this, Falstad-oriented playstyle that very few teams have an answer to, and I don't feel like Team 8 has been able to pick up on that, at least with their couple of picks here so far. Thrall and Rhaegar, an absurdly dominant composition on the side of Tempo Storm here. Team 8, last pick. Is it going to be the Varian? It, in fact, is going to be the Varian.
Do you think it's going to be Earthquake or Sundering?
I mean, it's going to be the Earthquake. I mean, we've seen almost no Sundering so far. And pairing it with the Apocalypse, I doubt that they're going to, go any other direction. I'm always a huge fan. It just doesn't happen.
You can make it work either way, right? Like you can Sunder APOC right afterward, and it's going to hit them wherever they're standing and stunned.
Yeah.
But also, if you Earthquake, it makes it a lot easier to make sure that, especially in tight corners, that they end up running into each other's Apocalypse and are underneath them to get a max value that way.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough draft for Teammate. They have a lot to answer, and they have to be on point, is really what it comes down to. I think they took a lot of risks in this draft. Whether or not they had to, debatable. But in the end, they stuck to their comfort. They have Medivh. They've got, they don't have the Diablo, but they at least got the Medivh on their side. They have a Tychus.
Still Varian.
Still a Varian, which is cool. The Portal Varian plays are awesome. They can make a lot of big plays there. Just there's a lot of health bars, a lot of survivability on the opposite side of the battlefield. And I'm not too convinced on the skirmish potential of Teammates' draft, let alone their macro when looking at the eyes of that Falstad.
Probably the bigger they are, again, is your point of suggestion for Tychus?
That's actually a tough one in this scenario. I want to say yes, but I also think just sustained DPS is really the only way they're going to stand a chance into this matchup. I don't think it's going to be, one shot, one killing anybody, especially into the Rhaegar, having the Ragnaros and the Diablo. I think I would take in the rhythm. I would like to see that build out of them. Falstad is going to go auto attack build. Maybe Zarya move into, feel the heat.
Mm-hmm. To the limit even?
No.
You don't like to the limit.
I don't like to the limit, but I do like feel the heat. Feel the heat could be pretty valuable here. The sustained DPS if they get in a melee range with a hit me. Something like that I would like to see.
All right, we are ready, guys. Let's see if Team 8 can close out the series and take down Tempo Storm, the Titan of North America.
The Titan of North America.
They are.
They
have been for a long time.
They have, and it's amazing to think that we are potentially one game away from Team 8 with Buds, Justin, Glorong, Yoda, and Prismaticism. 2 of the members formerly on Denial were removed. Justin, Buds, TNC days, they just... Freedom's a team that came from nothing, if you will, whereas the teammate has been this, mishmash from all over the place when it comes to where they've been in the past. And it's just, I never would have guessed that here in week number 3, we'd see them tied at number 1 and up in a series over Tempo Storm.
Unless we forget, this was not the composition of the team that originally qualified. Prismaticism joined the team late, and still they have been able to rise to the point they have here. It's an impressive showing from Team 8, and it will be even more impressive should they close out this series and take down Tempo Storm, especially since they will face Gale Force Esports tomorrow.
Yeah, it would be a huge momentum swing. We do see Zarya adjusting her build a little bit, but not going into Feel the Heat, instead going with the Globe talent, even on Sky Temple.
Maximum charge, pick up, see how fast she can get that to scaling up. As we get ready for the next temples. First ones, in fact.
And everything else is exactly what you probably expect across the board, only a few adjustments. We do see Falstad has opted towards Seasoned Marksman, very much, caught in the luck staple almost at this point.
Yeah, again, it gives him a lot of options, and if he ends up being the solo laner, he can still make sure that he's stacking without having any other heroes potentially in the lane if he's looking at the bottom lane and sitting down there while the first temple phase is going on, or even in future ones too. First temple phase is about to start.
Yeah, it is, and whoever controls the vision is obviously going to be in control of the mid-shrine for the most part. Glorong is going to be able to hover. Always the problem with Medivh is you can never really force him off of a point, though this collapse could be enough. Feral Spirit is the follow-up there. Justin ends up popping 1 W. He gets the shield. He goes through the portal, and he makes it out for now. Falstad, though. Oh, Justin gets the dodge. He pops the W. He needs another shield. He has it. There it is. Glorong was trying to bait him to see if he would go too far, and honestly, he was about half a second away from ending up losing Justin, but he did keep him up. The shots here captured by Team 8 on top a little bit faster than that of Tempo Storm into mid, so we'll see if they make the transition. But Ragnaros, in fact, is soaking elsewhere on the map the entire time, so he's going to be doing just fine.
Tempo Storm starting to get a experience advantage based off of that soaking.
They went the bigger. not going in. They went the bigger they are. That's going to be the focus there for Tychus. The amount of pressure you can put out onto the Diablo. And also Prismaticism, or not Prismaticism, excuse me. And Ragnaros there for Tempo Storm.
Ragnaros went for Catching Fire too. That was a max range Shadow Charge, but Glaurung ever in position to save his teammates and get them out of risky situations like that one.
Yeah, and the macro play showing again here for Tempo Storm, already getting the Giants almost as fast as they can, collapsing with the 3-man pressure. They're going to be able to get the zone. Kettle obviously was shown in that rotation, but this is going to say bye-bye to the front wall, or at least a majority of it here very quickly. Tempo Storm securing a pretty significant lead. Glaurung has revealed, just a little bit too late.
Yeah, teammate were rotating in. Now they have to be content just to get their Giants here in the bottom lane and maybe try to make a push for their own to take down some towers and get prepared for the bottom temple phase. Both teams starting to even consider mercenary camps, or the bruiser camps, but again, Tempo Storm is faster with those rotations. They immediately went to Giants, got the push there, and then went up to bruisers. Nobody even set up yet to start taking bruisers for teammate, just now starting to do so, and that's no push really to help out with the Giants.
Yeah, and just, it's going to be a tough spot here. Teammate is being very responsive to what Tempo Storm is doing, and anytime you do that in the macro with the fall set on Tempo Storm, you're usually behind because they very much show, you know, the knowledge in strategic rotations that they really have, what they've been able to earn after competing together for as long as they have. Night Camp now going to be picked up. Master's Touch is available for the Medivh. Portal is going to be used. Psalm's in a really bad spot, though. Very good isolation. Portal's going to be able to confirm the kill, and that was exactly what teammate needs, because we got 20 seconds before that next shrine. Oh, if Cawthon goes down, the Portal. Oh, he's not. It must have been cooldown, so I was like, oh, that is going to be a tough spot, but...
No. Okay. There's nothing he could do to stop that flight from happening. And he'll fly right down to help out Caterpillar with the pushing onto the bottom for Team 8. What Team 8 needs to do, and they know what they need to do, and they're great at doing that, is knowing exactly when they can and should be taking fights. And with Glaurung's ability to make a lot of body blocks happen instantly, just like we saw with Psalm, they can continue to do that. They'll make sure they at least don't get behind in experience, but they need to make sure that they're doing what they can to not get too far behind in structures on Sky Temple.
Yeah, it's got to be a focus there. Fury is concerned and finishing a couple of the shots. Glaurung now coming in, trying to steal a bit of the experience there. That is the Guardian. For those who don't know, actually, last hitting that will give you a pretty significant amount of experience, and sometimes can really, you know, actually get you a talent to your advantage if you can steal from your opponents. It's never a satisfying moment if you lose 10 to that. I've had it happen once, and it was about the most moral crushing thing that I've ever had happen to me in all of competitive heroes. You're like, no, we're fine, you know, get it. Okay, focus the Guardian. And then like 1 Q from like max range, they steal it, they hit 10 and initiate. You're like, all right, that's the game we're playing. I get it, yep, all right.
I see how it is. Teammates had Prismaticism push along with the Bruisers in top, knowing that the rotations were just going to be too slow, but Tempo Storm got so much out of that one temple. They took out 2 forts with it, and that's given them the advantage to get heroic abilities ahead of their opponents. Let's see what they pick up. Bloodlust. I wondered.
They've got the Gust, they've got the Lust, they've got the Earthquake, and they got the APOC. They got a lot of cool tools in this game. Honestly, I just want them to push with this boss and all press the R button at the same time, because that is something that's going to be difficult to deal with. Justing, patiently waiting. They pick up the 10. Fury's looking for that invade, while Glaurung is still soaking on the sides.
Glaurung's going to get Leyline Seal, so still going with the same heroic abilities we've seen from these heroes when on Team 8's side before. This is going to be a hefty push for Tempo Storm. They have the boss, they have the Giants, and they have scary heroic abilities. Team 8 don't necessarily have all the tools they would like to try to stop this push. They don't have all of Master's Touch done. Tempo Storm don't want to necessarily get caught with a Leyline Seal on the Death Bridge, though, so instead taking out some towers in mid.
Yeah, they just want to wait till they force a rotation, and then you poke back as best you can. I even would have liked to see them take that other turret, because if teammate opens with Leyline Seal and doesn't open with a responsive, like, one-shot play, there is way too much threat on the heroics on the side of Tempo Storm. They play it safe, they back out, they're worried about the shots. Teammate has hit the 10. They're looking to force the fight. They're going to go over to Vision. Tempo Storm's going to proceed to trade. You saw, the minute Tempo Storm saw, they were like, oh, they're going top. We're like, we, in fact, are going bottom. They know they have such a big lead. Experience is a significant amount, but more than anything, the structures. Smart play coming out from Tempo, and Leyline Seal is trying to say otherwise. Where's that going to push them?
And Expulsion Zone. Cleanse helped Cattle get out of that weird situation. Yoda moving away from Earthquake. Apocalypse goes down, stuns too. Portal is hit the back, but more importantly, Sulfurous Smash just drops down from above and helps take out Zarya. Here comes Commandeer Odin, but kind of in a scary spot for Prismaticism to grab that in a root. Oh, here comes Cattle with Molten Core. Q goes out. Cattle is going to jump in, as are the rest of Tempo Storm. Justing barely gets away, though.
Yeah, and the Gust was not enough. Oh my goodness, the shield there coming out from Glaring again. Will Justing survive? No! I love that alley-oop there. You know, Fury just throws him back, and Cattle's like, don't worry, I got this. Rain and fire from above, confirming the kill here, also confirming their advantage even more, and the fact that they're about to get 13. There's a flip. Prismaticism, I don't think he's going to be making it out there. The portal is not going to be used yet. Shield was dropped. Portal is used.
Yeah, Expulsion Zone went down, but Tychus was in such a difficult spot. Now Glaring's just trying to chase down June, maybe get a kill where they can. And Team 8 are having such a difficult time putting out the damage that they need. Maybe they can at least get a kill on Cattle. They're still being willing to engage 3v5, knowing that between the three of them, there is a lot of safety. So Furious Smash drops on top of the portal, though, and Zarya is eliminated.
Yeah, but that is going to lead to the taunt onto Psalm. Glaring ended up missing that Q. Might have cost him the ability to get the kill. Psalm with the dodge. All right, so what this means for this game, with the Master's Touch still yet to be achieved. 13 talent tier, a power spike, huge for Medivh specifically there with Glaring. That is going to be not obtained, at least not quite yet. Falstad is getting that soak. They're going to look for this invade. Fury's in a tough spot. Twilight Dreams now going to be dropped there for Team 8. His Buds take the portal. Bloodless is going to be used. June is bloodthirsty as he goes deep. There comes Cawthon with the flight. Buds is on the retreat. Apoc used Prismaticism, gets the dash. The shield on to Justin, though. Nobody going down yet. Zarya's here with the Expulsion Zone saying, you shall not pass, we will survive. But for how long? Because Team 8 is on full retreat. They have no health, and Tempo Storm's going to be able to take these shots.
Team 8 keeps surviving by the skin of their teeth, but they're also not
doing enough damage to really look at that and be like, well, you know, at least it was a close battle. It was like, you didn't die, but you didn't look like you were going to win it.
Yeah, there's a difference between winning and not losing.
Yes, and right now, Team 8 is very effectively not losing.
2 Giant Killers here available for Tempo Storm on Falstad and Thrall. Once Tempest Fury is grabbed, potentially for Thrall too. That's going to be quite packed the punch. There's another portal into body block for Fury taunt. And again, Team 8 have all of the tools to catch somebody, they just don't have the tools to kill them.
It's a struggle. I can't help but feel like a little bit of that just comes down to the Zarya again. If you're gonna pick double warrior, Varian, Medivh, you know, hyphy style compositions, pick another warrior with damage and actual engage. You know, I'd take Murden with Give Him the X. I would take Arthas. Again, I know that's a rare word in North America, but Arthas. I would even rather Tyrael above all, just for the, you know, the team fight potential. But overall, Team 8 here, with their draft, they haven't been able to make much happen. And with the macro play of Tempo Storm, with that Falstad Ragnarok's early rotations on the shrines, Team 8 just hasn't had a moment. It's been very interesting to see the dynamic that when Tempo Storm gets the lead, Team 8 never really has a moment to be able to come back, whereas when Team 8 gets the lead, Tempo Storm feels like they haven't really had much of a shot. It's just, and I don't know if that's all draft or if it's a gameplay. I don't know.
Hasn't that felt like that for a lot of our North American teams?
It has felt that way. I feel like for this series, I would explain it a little bit more to the draft, but yes, it has been a very, very popular trend. You know, I mean, whether it's just the decision-making when behind seems very, very passive, not willing to take those risks until maybe it's going to be a bit too late. And speaking of too late, 16 is right around the corner here for Tempo.
Neo Steel Coating.
Hey, love it.
50 spell armor for Tychus once activated.
Yep.
See if that's what Prismaticism needs, because he has been a focus a lot of time from Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm up 2 levels. They have 16. They have some bruisers. starting to work on taking down towers in front of the keep. Any damage that they can do to structures just makes any tempo that they get that much stronger.
Oh man, that 13 is only optional purely based on the level 4 taking it as well. You know, needing the healing is not going to be as valuable.
Yeah, especially healing is not necessarily, I guess maybe damage would have been really nice there considering the fact that they have so many shields and heals, but in this case, guaranteeing for freaking sure the Tychus will not go down.
All right, so I'm going to throw out Dread's crazy idea of the day.
Let's hear it.
Glorong 16. What if it wasn't reabsorption?
You want the circle of
protection? I want circle of protection.
Okay.
I want a death ball. You know, APOC and Gus are going to be annoying to be able to deal with. There's bloodlust, everything. But I just don't see reabsorption shields on one target saving somebody enough to justify over, you know, into that maybe a 3-man W and the value you can get there. I mean, you can hit all 5 if you perfectly stack. That's a little unrealistic. But even if they only hit, you know, 2 Ws that hit 3 targets, I just don't see a way that Teammates Draft wins by getting to pick a fight that they want, so they have to be able to take the one that they don't want. And reabsorption, I don't feel like is that answer. That being said, I don't know if circle protection is, but I think that it would be possibly more effective.
Well, they're almost there, so we'll see if Glorong agrees with you. The bottom keep is going down fast.
And it's stopped. His tempo now is going to be able to get on to it and confirm it here. 16 just barely out of reach for teammate. First game of the keep of the game gonna be going down here. Well, you know what I mean? Is that crazy of an idea with the 16?
What, you just want them to just jump all on top of all of Tempo Storm and then have that shielding?
Yeah, it's just...
The problem is that...
even if it's to just catch them off guard mechanic, it's
there's
just...
Gus, there's Earthquake.
Oh yeah, but
APOC.
If they manage to be able to take the fight, it's just, I guess reabsorption isn't going to change any of those, but they haves, right? So at least when the fight is going to go blow for blow, I feel like even 2 Ws that hit 3 targets would be more valuable than anything 1 reabsorption would be able to provide.
Here's the last-ditch effort for Team 8. They are down and out. They know that this boss would be the end of the game if Tempo Storm secure it. Throw over on Justin. Here comes Apocalypse. That's going to hit a lot of people, so Fear Smash to follow too. But so far, all the members of Team 8 are staying healthy except for Buds, who drops his Twilight Dream as he drops and gets taken out. The first kill of the game. Yoda's jumping back onto the point, but he gets gusted away as Expulsion Zone ends. Now everyone's moving on to the boss point. A slam takes out Zarya. Medivh goes down. 1 Odin does not equal picking up the boss, and Tempo Storm walk away with that boss, a team wipe in game number 4.
Impressive play. And, you know, it just came down to the raw boss control. Teammate, they're trying to use the Expulsion Zone. Great job coming up from Koth and Luck.
Yes.
On the fall stab, making sure the Gus is perfectly used. And from that point, instilling absolute panic into the eyes of Teammate as they are going to be able to turn it around 2-2. We've got the series on our hands. Predictions, what's the next map?
We knew that it was so likely to go here. Predictions on what the next map will be?
Yeah.
I think it'll be Cursed. Wait, no, Cursed was number 1.
That was map number 1.
Tomb?
We've got Tomb. That would be a smart choice, I think
Tomb.
But Teammate is going to have the option to choose. They'll probably opt towards first pick.
Exactly, which is why I think Tempo will pick Tomb.
Yeah, I think that makes the most amount of sense because that would cripple, again, the most amount of heroes on the side of Glorong, forcing them to, you know, Medivh doesn't necessarily thrive on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I think that would probably be the safest bet.
All right, guys. Make sure that you get pumped up because we have game number 5 right after this break.